This failed badly. 30 kilograms, that's how much plaster of Paris it takes to make a mold for a 6 feet nameplate. It's also how much I wasted in this attempt. Let's see what went wrong. For the longest time, I thought art was my passion. I kept jumping from one thing to another, from pencil sketch, 3D origami, expandable paper sculpture, pastel work, digital art, stippling, and then to building a furniture, electronics, blockchain development, and teaching stock market. But then I realized it wasn't art I was chasing, it was learning itself. So I started embracing it. I'm Bharath Gowda. Every skill I learn and prove earns me a badge. One person, every skill, no finish line. Imperfect plans, real mistake, and honest documentation. This is the Curiosity Project. Let's learn something new. Last week, we looked at my previous fiberglass work. That was the backstory. This week, we start the real attempt. The goal is simple: make a fiberglass nameplate from scratch, design the master, build the mold, cast the final piece, and see if I can make it better than what I made 8 years ago. Vanandhara is the reference. That was the project I somehow figured out when I was 18, and now the same person who referred me to Vanandhara called again. You can see the Vanandhara backstory, link is in the description. This time, he wanted a nameplate for his home. He had liked the Vanandhara board so much that he wanted his own nameplate to have a similar feel. The same kind of organic shape and the same textured finish, but this time I had CorelDraw, so I designed the nameplate digitally. I also rendered it onto a photo of the building so the client could see exactly how it would look once mounted. They confirmed it and now I had to build it. The master form, the piece from which the mold is made, was built in thermocoal. I used a 1-inch sheet for the base shape and a half an inch sheet for the letters. I designed the letters in CorelDraw, printed them on a A4 sheet at home, cut each letter out of paper and traced them onto the half-inch thermocoal. Then I cut every character individually with a hobby knife. Every letter was placed, every edge was cleaned. The next step was the mold. POP, that is plaster of Paris. You pour it over the master form, let it set, and when you remove the master, what remains is the negative. The negative is the mold. The nameplate is 6 feet by 2.5 feet. So for this mold, I used 30 kilograms of POP and I made a mistake. I didn't catch it until it was too late. Since POP sets fast, I can't mix 30 kilograms at once. So I worked in batches, 1 to 2 kilograms at a time. First I covered the letters, then I covered the entire piece again with multiple batches. To give the mold strength, I added coconut fiber mixed with POP because the mold was large and needs to hold its shape. I also added wooden sticks across the back and encased them in a POP and coconut fiber. I let it dry for 2 days. At that point, it looked right, it felt solid. Then I tried to flip it. The corners started breaking first. Then when I removed the thermocol from the mold, the first layer I had poured, the layers that had captured letter details came off with it. That's when I understood the mistake. The thermocol is porous. Without a release agent between them, POP bonded with the thermocol. And because I poured the POP in batches with drying time between each one, the layers never fully bonded to each other. The mold wasn't one solid piece, it was multiple layers that only looked like one piece. And that meant almost 30 kilograms of POP, hours of work, and entire mold has failed. I stood there for a few minutes and just looked at it. I understood exactly what went wrong. Honestly, there was something else in my mind that day, something heavier than this. So when the mold fell apart, it didn't feel like the worst thing that had happened. I saw the broken piece, understood the mistake, and decided to redo it. At 18, I figured out fiberglass by experimenting. Nothing has changed. The mistakes are different now. The process is more considered, but the principle is the same. You don't learn this by reading about it. You learn it by pouring 30 kilograms of POP and watching it fall apart. Badge caster in progress. Next week, I redo the entire mold. This is the Curiosity Project. I'm Bharath Gowda. I learn anything I want, earn a badge when I prove it and document every step publicly. If that's something you are interested in, hit that subscribe button and I'll see you in the next one.